Good afternoon, Professor Joyce. My name is Sia. Today, I want to discuss a critical issue the role of trauma informed care, TIC, for children in the context of addictive families. TIC has been widely promoted in child welfare systems, especially in addressing issues within addictive families. But is it truly a tool for rescuing children or just a short term painkiller? We need to explore this issue from three perspectives: government level, social system level, and individual child level. First, let's look at the promotion of TIC from the government level. TIC, proposed by the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, aims to recognize the impact of trauma and reduce re traumatization in child serving systems. In addictive families, TIC has been widely promoted because government policies tend to favor maintaining family integrity over outright removal of the custody. But the question is, does TIC truly reduce trauma? Or is it just effective in the short term? Research shows that TIC can alleviate PTSD, anxiety, and behavioral issues in the short term, but its long term effectiveness is questionable. TIC primarily helps children adapt to trauma, but it doesn't significantly reduce the occurrence of trauma. So, my main argument is that TIC is more like a tool for short term trauma relief rather than a long term solution to reduce trauma. So, is TIC a breakthrough for child welfare or just a budget friendly policy? In some countries, the increase in TIC funding has been accompanied by cuts to other child protection measures such as foster care and legal interventions. So TIC may be over-promoted by government, while more effective long-term interventions such as legal and social welfare supports are overlooked. Next, let's examine the role of TIC from the social system level. TIC has been integrated into child protection policies as a core strategy to reduce legal interventions. It has led child protection agencies to reduce legal enforcement against addicted parents, relying more on psychological interventions and family support services. However, whether TIC's psychological interventions can effectively reduce the long term impact of trauma on children remains controversial. Some TIC guided family preservation strategies may result in children being exposed to unstable environment for extended periods. As for the frontline social workers, they face significant challenges in implementing TIC. The recovery of addicted parents is highly stable, with 40% to 60% relapsing within 6 months, making social workers' decisions fraught with uncertainty. Resources shortages also limit the actual implementation of the TIC programs, with wait time for addiction treatment and psychological interventions lasting 3 to 6 months, leaving workers unable to ensure children's safety. Finally, let's examine the impact of TIC from individual child level. If TIC doesn't truly resolve trauma, but merely teaches children to adapt, does it actually reinforce their victim identity? Research shows that children from addictive families who live under the influence of TIC for extended periods are more likely to exhibit behavioral problems, self regulation difficulties, and face higher risks of substance abuse in the future. Interventions under the TIC system primarily focus on the psychological level, while the social needs of the children with high ACE scores may be overlooked, like the education, the career development, and emotional relationships. So, TIC may keep children in the trauma adaptation phase without sufficient interventions to help them move into the recovery and the growth phase. Okay, now let's move on to the last part. How can TIC evolve to truly protect children from addictive families? I think we should not remain at the level of psychological intervention, but integrate broader social support. The first solution is that TIC needs to establish legal intervention triggers, allowing social workers to initiate legal procedures when addicted parents cannot provide stable care. transferring children to safer environment. The second solution is that TIC needs to expand from psychological rehabilitation to resilient building, enabling children from addictive families to not only regulate their emotions, but also develop long-term life skills. The last solution is that TIC needs to be part of the comprehensive child protection system, not an isolated psychological intervention tool. To sum up, TIC needs to become a comprehensive child protection mechanism, ensuring it can effectively trigger social resources rather than just helping children adapt to trauma. That's all for my presentation. Thank you for your attention.